PTOEs. Good morning. So this is slow and low. We're going to start with a blanket down on the mat, and I want you to also have 2 blocks and a strap in preparation. We're going to use the 2 blocks right away. So gather those up, and we're going to start with some shoulder chest opening stuff. So I want to do the supported fish in preparation. So we'll start our practice today with a flat block under the shoulder blades and a block under your head. You can choose the second or the flat setting. I like to switch it up and do both, depending on the state of my neck on any given day. And so you guys know what to do, but it's a good idea to just make sure you've got no space. You've got lots of space between your low back and the floor. So you could do like a hand swipe underneath the low back. And then organize your parts so that this is relatively easy. And comfortable. Once you're well organized, then you can close your eyes and start to drop it. And so this week in my classes, I've been talking about the 2 different processes that we can put into action when we first start practicing, really throughout the entirety of our practice, but easier to connect to in stillness, I think, at the beginning. So the first process is that of exteroception. It's the perception of our body and what it's doing. And so in exteroception, you feel your body in space. So feel your body in whatever room you're in as it relates to the furniture, the people in the room, your props. Feel the way that your limbs are placed, shape that your body's making. And so in short, feel your body. Make good contact with your physical shape. The next process is called interoception. It's to perceive internally. So what do you feel on the inside? What is the state today of your nervous system, your emotional realm, your mental state? What do you feel inside of yourself energetically? And then I think that these 2 ideas meet. The confluence point is the breath. So we can feel the breath physically in the body, but breath is also energy. Breath is also that which enlivens us. And so the invitation for the next minute or so is to go into the breath and feel the breath as the process of exteroception. How does the breath feel in the body? And feel the breath in the process of interoception. How does the breath animate you? How can you manipulate the breath so that it's supportive for your yoga practice? Let's take one last breath. And then we're gonna make our way to sit or roll to the side and push yourself up and just move your blocks out of the way. So you're back to having a clear mat. And then come down to lie on your back. And take a moment to reorient your upper body now to the flat surface. Maybe you feel the physical and energetic effects of the chest opening. And like I said, we're going to work in the upper body, at least at the beginning of our practice here. So the first move is to take your arms down by your sides and turn your palms to face down. And you can do this with bent knees or straight legs, whatever is most comfortable for you. It's just a shoulder shrug, one side at a time. So starting on the left, you'll pull your left shoulder up by your left ear and slide your right shoulder down away from your right ear. And let's hold this. So you feel the left rib cage, shoulder, chest hike up towards your head. Maybe you can even feel that like through the center line of the body, the sternum, lifting up on the left side, pulling down on the right side. And then change. So pull your left shoulder away from your left ear and hike your right shoulder up towards your right ear. And maybe there's, interesting things to feel between the two sides. And then let's just go at your own pacing to shimmy the shoulders side to side. Releasing any holding around the intercostal muscles. Those are the muscles between your ribs. Around the pectoralis muscles, the chest muscles, the shoulder blade muscles. Those are the rotator cuff muscles. Upper trapezius, a whole lot of small muscles going on in the upper body. And you even feel it like up into the deltoid on the upper arm. Alrighty, so in the next few moments, you can release that move and just return to a neutral setting in your shoulders. Take a couple of breaths to feel that. And then we'll catch opposite elbows in front of the chest. So you make like essentially a square with your arms. And again, you can do this with bent knees or straight legs, however it's comfortable for you. And I think most of you know this. So take an inhale in preparation here in the center, and then your exhale sweeps the elbows over to either side. So fluidly sliding the arms to the side. They stay in front of the chest. So your inner arm ends up kind of laying across the chest or close to the front of the chest. And then you inhale the elbows back to the center, and then you fluidly sweep the arms in the upper way. All of those. Your head might turn to look at your elbows. So your head can go in the same direction as the elbows. Kind of a nice feeling. And then return back to the center and bend your knees. Let's get the legs involved. So with your feet as wide as your mat, now as your elbows go to one side, your legs go the opposite direction. So it's like the windshield wiper with this different piece in the upper body. head can continue to go the way of the arms. I quite like this. Do a handful more of those. And then when you are even on the two sides next, before you release and drop your arms down by your sides, just take note of which arm is in front of the other, because we're gonna do a second round and we're gonna switch it up. So just take note and then release your arms and take a little pause. We'll take a longer pause after this next round, but for now, just a few breaths. Feel that, settle into that. And then we'll put the other arm in front. So same setup, other arm in front. And so now we bring the arms into a circular motion. And so let's start by going to the left. So you're gonna slide your elbows first to the left. That's the inhale breath. On the exhale breath, the arms sweep circularly up and over your head, over to the right, and back in front of your chest. It's kind of a long exhale. See if you can stick with it. So inhale, elbows to the left. Exhale, sweep the arms, circular motion up and over your head, over to the right, back to the midline. Few more, just to the left. Your head can trace the line of the arms. So I like to kind of try to keep my gaze on the arms as they circularize. We'll go the other way. So when you're ready, shift to the right, inhale. Exhale, sweep up and over your head. All the way to the left and back to the center. Keep going. One more of those. And then release your arms down by your sides. Slide your legs out long and let's take a full break. Full minute or so to rest. So you can start by exterocepting. Feel your body. Where are you in contact with the floor? where is there sensation from movements we've been doing? Interocepting, are you beginning to feel a little more settled, a little more calm in your body and your heart mind? Connecting the two through the breath. All right, we'll keep going with some shoulder work. So again, you can have your legs straight or bend your knees. Take your arms slightly out to the side. So they're like 45 degrees away from your body. Not a T, not right by your side, kind of halfway. And then start with your palms facing down. And we're going to rotate the shoulders in the shoulder socket. So on the inhale breath, turn your palms up toward the ceiling. Keep spinning in that direction until your thumbs point down toward the floor, and then possibly your palms keep spinning in that way and end up pointing down towards the floor. So this is an external rotation of the shoulders. You'll feel we're holding by the way, you feel your chest open here. Maybe it created a little bit of back arch. My mid and low back is off the floor. Okay, then the other way. So you unwind, come back to palms facing down, and then keep going. So thumbs come down, palms face out, and then you try to spin till you're on the backs of your hands or the back of your thumb and first finger maybe, and then hold there. And so if you're internally rotating, then the shoulders, fronts of the shoulders are closer to each other. And my upper back and neck are now off the floor, creating a little bit of grounding in the upper back. Okay, let's keep going. So starting to coordinate with the breath on the inhale, externally rotating, and feel free as always to spend an extra breath in that moment of holding, or 2 breaths or 3 breaths. You don't have to move with every breath, but when you're ready to move, do that on the exhale. So exhale, spin the backs of the hands toward the floor, and the chest muscles engage a little bit in order to create that rotation in the shoulders. All right, feel it out, enjoy. If your legs are straight, bend your knees. And we'll start to incorporate pelvic rocking into the motion. So as you inhale, it's the same. Your palms spin up and you externally rotate the shoulders and you tip your pelvis away from your face. So you're already, in that back arching from the external rotation of the shoulders, and I emphasize it with pelvis forward. And then as you exhale, you scoop the pubic bone toward the face, and you spin the arms in, and the front body shortens and contracts. And let's put those together a few more times. when your body tells you that you've had enough, then just release and relax your arms in a neutral way. You can keep your knees bent or stretch your legs long. Find your breath, take a moment, settle and reset. And then you're going to take your arms loosely overhead. And we're going to do like a reaching action with the arms. So you're going to stretch your right arm away from your right hip and looking for that elongation in the outer side body. Maybe even you feel it in the like armpit as well. And maybe there's a little bit of a natural side bend that occurs through that movement. And then reach with the other arm so your right arm relaxes and your left arm reaches. And if a side bend starts to happen, let it happen. Let your body kind of move as it wants to through that reach. Keep going. Maybe see, I like my natural inclination right away was to start to drop the opposite hip to get more length on the side. I said opposite, but I meant same side hip. So like as you reach your left arm, maybe your left hip drops away from your face to create that elongation all the way down the chain. Keep going. And then after you've gone right and left one more time, you're going to slide your hands behind your head. Stretch your legs out long, and we're going to side bend. So sweep your legs over to the left side of your mat, cross your left ankle over your right ankle, and then without lifting your torso up, side bend over to the left. Reach your right elbow up and your left elbow pulls down towards your left hip. If that didn't get you quite enough, you can always scooch a little bit more. But try to keep the pelvis and the shoulder blades level as much as you can. So your hips stay in the same plane, your shoulders stay in the same plane. Couple more breaths here. And then let's slide it back to the center. Uncross your ankles so you sweep back through neutral first. And then over to the right, cross the right ankle over the left ankle, sweep your torso to the right, scooch a little bit more till you're at kind of your comfortable end range, and then settle in, find your breath. Last full breath here. Then unpack. Come back to the middle of your mat. Relax your arms down by your sides. And take a little break. If you can drop right in, stillness, softness. Do your exteroception work. Feel your body in space. Do your interoception work. Feel your inner realm of sensory perception. So the confluence of the two in the breath. Let's wake up, roll to the left side. Slip your left arm under your head like a pillow. And just get comfortable in your body. So we're gonna just work with the right arm. And so your legs and your head and your left arm, we're just looking for ease. So right arm comes down by your side. And you're gonna pick your right arm up to hover off of your right hip. And then slide your right arm back toward the space behind you. Like a Shalabhasana. Hold there for a moment. And then with your arm back behind you, you're gonna do a couple of those rotations like we did on our back. So you'll spin your palm to face up and you'll spin your palm to face up again, but the other way. Internally and externally rotating your shoulders. And then you'll bring your hand back to palm facing down like a Shalabhasana. And slowly you're going to sweep your right arm forward like a circular style all the way up and over your head like you would in the side angle pose. So your right arm is reaching over your head, and then reach your fingertips away from your right hip. You might even like try to wrap your outer right hip down away from your right ear to catch that long side body. You go out the way you went in, so sweep your right arm forward, circularize till it's down by your right hip. And then slice it back into space like the Shalabhasana. Couple rotations. Spin the palm up, spin the palm up the other way. And then your palm is back to neutral, facing down next. Then we sweep it head through forward reaching action. Holding in the overhead reach, drop your outer right hip. Right arm forward, and back by your hip. And then last time, slice it back toward the space behind you. Do some rotating. Bring your palm back to downward facing, sweep forward, sweep up, hold and reach. Move forward and relax the right arm. The rest on the rake. And then from here, you're gonna peel your right knee up off of your left knee and reach for your right big toe with your first two fingers, unless you know that you have like super tight inner leg, super tight hamstrings, in which case your strap is hopefully nearby and you move your strap around your leg. So then push your right arm against your knee and squeeze your knee against your arm and just open your right knee up toward the ceiling. Pull back a little bit with your hand to bring your knee any amount closer to your rib cage. So you've got like deep hip flexion with external rotation. The move we use all the time in like warrior two, triangle pose. And then we're gonna extend the right leg straight or straightish. Push up through your right heel and try to peel your right toes back towards your right shin. And then I just want to pump this right hip a couple of times. So you'll bend the right elbow and the right knee. I'm going to try to slide my elbow inside my knee again and pull your knee close to your like shoulder blade. Could you get your right inner knee to your right shoulder blade and then you slowly extend the right leg straight. One more. Hold for a breath or two in the straight-legged setup. And then release, stack your right knee back on your left. Take a breath or two. And then let's change sides. So roll through your back. Make your way over to your right side. Slip your right arm under your head like a pillow. And again, set yourself up so that you're easy in your body. Take your left hand down by your left hip, lift it up, so hover it over your left hip, and slice it back like Shalabhasana. Hold there. And then do a couple rotations. Spin your palm up, externally rotate. Spin your palm down and then possibly back towards up, internally rotate. Bring your palm to downward facing, sweep your left arm forward, reaching all the way up and over your head. Hover your left arm over your left ear, and then maybe you drop your outer left hip a little bit away from your left ear, left ribs, reach. Sweep the left arm forward and down by your left hip. And back into the space behind you. Let's go again. Start in the Shalabhasana, left arm, and then rotate. Return to downward facing palms, sweep the left arm forward. I think you know what to do. Eventually we'll meet left arm down by the side for one more full round. When you're done, rest your left arm on your left hip. And then you'll peel the left leg off of the right leg and grab your left big toe with your first two fingers, or use your strap around your foot. And so left arm is inside the left knee. And just push your left knee back a little bit. And at the same time as you push with the arm, squeeze in with the knee so you have a nice point of resistance between the knee and the arm. Pull with your arm and maybe you bring your knee a little bit closer to your armpits. And then let's do our first slow straightening, extend up through the left heel as you pull the toes back. And then we'll bend the left knee, slide the elbow inside the knee. Maybe you squeeze your knee a little closer to your shoulder, and then you re-extend when you're ready. Okay. A few more times. Bend the knee, straighten the leg, juice up that hip. Next time you're in the straight-legged position, let's hold there for a couple of breaths. Then release and stack your left knee on your right knee and just pause. Your next move is to flip over onto your belly. Stack up your hands, rest your head on the back of your hands. Rest here for a couple of breaths. And then we'll come up into the Sphinx pose. So I like to just loosely intertwine my fingers and elbows under the shoulders is, kind of the deepest back bend that's available here. If you need less, you just move your elbows more forward to come out of that depth. Let's take several breaths here. So push down through the elbows, lift the chest, the sides of your waist. And we're gonna walk the elbows over to the right. So creating side bend in the Sphinx shape. You really push down with your left elbow and lean to the right. Let's take this into a little twist. So unclasp your hands, put your left palm down, put your right fingertips outside your right hip, and then turn a little bit more your ribs from the left to the right. So it's like side bend plus back bend plus twisting. Your upper body's gonna be like Jello. Mine too. Back through the center. Intertwine your fingers. Sphinx pose. And then we'll go to the left. And I meant Jello in a good way. Jiggly, loosey goosey. Not Jello in the way that it tastes. Unless you're a 5-year-old kid. My children, of course, love Jello. So side bending to start. And then you can release your fingers, turn your right palm down, step your left hand to the floor outside your left hip, and then push down with both hands and rotate even more to the left. Let's come back to the middle, stack your hands, rest your head on your hands. You can shimmy your hips a little bit side to side, release your low back. And then slide your hands under your shoulder, come up to your hands and your knees just briefly so that you can slide your right knee forward for the pigeon pose. Try to be as much on the left knee so that the left front of your hip is pointing down towards the floor. If you want to block under your head, they should be close by, or you can just do that same Sphinx setup we did, interlace the fingers, elbows under your shoulders. About 3 more breaths here. Let's change. So you'll come back to hands and knees. Pull the left knee forward, slide the right leg back. Settle in, find your breath. And then from here, we'll just glide our way back to our backs. So however you want to get there. Set yourself up comfortably. Take a couple breaths to once again reorient back into neutral. And then we're going to slide a block under the pelvis in the supported bridge pose. So you can go in the flat setting or the second setting if you want a little extra. Now let's go loose arms overhead. Full breaths here right in the center. The spreading of the back of your pelvis into the block, the softening of the fronts of the hips and the belly space. And internally rotate the hips one at a time. So heel toe your right foot wider than your mat. And then come onto the inner edge of the right foot as the right inner knee tips down toward the floor. And if you feel like you have more range of motion, if you want to get deeper into this, you just bring your right foot even more to the right and give you more space to drop into. Let's switcheroo. Bring your right knee back to the center, heel toe it to the back onto your mat, and then your left foot goes wide and you tip onto the inner left foot. I didn't say this on the first side, but the other knee just stays neutral, so right knee just stays pointing up toward the ceiling. Again, the more you take your left foot to the left, the more space it gives you to drop the knee down, which really only happens from the hip rotating in. Our left leg back to the mat. And then take your arms by your sides and grab onto the sides of your mat with your hands. And then you're going to slide your legs out long. Now, if it's too much on your back to go all the way straight with your legs, you can stop sort of half Z. But if you can go all the way straight, do that. And then it's active. So pull your hands away from you. I'm going to lift up and tuck my shoulder blades a little bit underneath bridge pose style. And then flex your toes back towards your shins and squeeze your legs. You might even push your elbows down to the floor to puff up your chest a little bit more. Let's release. You could just like soften here and be a little more passive with the legs long, or if you feel like you need to bend the knees, come back to your supported bridge. And eventually, you'll take your block out from underneath your pelvis and slide your legs out long. Before we drop into Shavasana, we're going to do a little bit of a like heel rock to head rock. So I feel like it's a little challenging to put into words, but you're going to dig your heels down into the floor and rock your feet front to back. And you can see that my head is moving as well. So I'm trying to just stay loose in my body so that my head and my shoulders and my pelvis rock along. We're going to do this for another 10 or 15 seconds. You might speed it up, or if you go too slow, it's hard to keep the momentum, but you go really quite fast if you are inclined. Okay, and then just relax. And if you feel like you're not quite ready to go to your Shavasana, there's another thing you need to do to prepare it. By all means, do it. And then come back to your resting shape. Soften through your palms all the way to your fingertips. Soften through the soles of your feet all the way to your toe tips. Let everything go. No longer controlling the breath. No muscular engagement. Release entirely and rest. with your breath. Let your breath deepen and animate your body. Breathe fully. Maybe even try to breathe out down through your legs, through your arms. Body, wake up with your breath until you're ready to transition out of here. So that's what's next. Make some moves. Take your time on the way. And we'll meet seated. Just take a moment to feel practice in your body, exteroception of the physical effects, interoception of the internal effects, more subtle aspects of feeling states. Bring our two hands together. Thank you so much for your practice. Namaste. It's been really fun to teach this class. Jamie will be back next week, and I hope you have a great day. See you guys soon, I'm sure.